Today we are talking about Indiana Jones. Specifically, we're talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark.
First movie in the long-running franchise.
Very, very long running. Before we get into all that, we appreciate that you're here. If you're watching, please consider liking and subscribing. And of course, join the conversation in the comments below. You can answer the question I'm about to answer Dr. Jones here, or ask Dr. Jones rather, which is, what's your favorite part of the movie?
Of Raiders?
Of Raiders, we're starting with a softball because we're going to jump around a lot.
I don't know if that's much of a softball. It's such a great film all throughout. There's multiple.
What's the one moment that's on top of all the other ones?
You know what it is? There are better scenes. It's going to change as we go through this discussion, but I just love that scene, and it hits me the same way, and it's because Spielberg and George Lucas are involved, but it hits me the same way as Luke putting his foot up on the rock and looking out at the twin sunset. It's that scene where all the diggers are excavating where they believe the chamber to be.
Yeah.
And Indy gets rid of his costume, and you see his silhouette put on the hat as it fades into night.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I love the eagerness going into that scene. You're just as eager as Indy is, or he is, as you are, to get the thing open and to get down there and find the Ark.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
I'm glad you said silhouette, because Indy's got one of the best silhouettes.
It's so good. It's so classic.
Like,
the hat is everything.
the hat is a lot of it, for sure. I'll say my favorite scene of this movie is, one, because it's just funny. 2, it's a great character moment for Indy. And 3, because of all the behind the scenes lore that a lot of people know, which is the scene where the swordsman is flourishing around and is about to fight Indy, and Indy just shoots him and goes along with his day.
Had enough of this.
Oh, I love it, because it just shows that Indy's like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. Not like, he just doesn't care. And then, of course, the behind the scenes is Harrison Ford had intense food poisoning and was basically dying, and they had a full fight scene scripted out. And he asked George or Steven, he's like, can I just shoot him? I just love that, because it shows Indy's character, and it mostly shows Harrison Ford's character.
Like, for a character with a gun and who gets into gunfights, the gun is not how he solves all his problems, which make him a really cool character.
Yeah. It almost never does.
The gun Raiders usually don't solve any problem.
That's the only one that comes to mind that like solved a problem of his. Everything else, he's usually running or punching.
Yeah.
Or usually running. He's usually running
in a vehicle, fighting, but this knocking fists.
This movie is mostly chase scenes.
Yeah.
Which I love. It creates this atmosphere of intensity, and we're constantly going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that's the hallmark of any good adventure movie, but Raiders is the quintessential adventure movie. Is we don't stay in one spot for like more than 5-10 minutes max. We are on to the next location. You know, he's underground getting the idol, then he's running, and he's above ground fleeing, and then he's in his college.
Yeah.
And he's only there for half a second before he's being taken by the government somewhere else. And then he's in Cairo, and then he's underneath, and he's here, and then he's there, and then he's there.
It's a globe-trotting adventure, and it makes you feel like we're going all over the place.
Yeah.
In the same way that I think like the James Bond movies do. Because obviously the backstory behind Indy is that he, like Star Wars being a love letter to all those serial 50s sci-fi, Buck Rogers,
Him being
like
George.
that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
George Lucas giving a send up to all those movies. Indy is just the same thing, but to the adventure serials of the 50s, 60s.
Him or I think it was Spielberg really wanted to make a James Bond movie, and they wouldn't let him.
Nope.
Yeah, let's do it. So George is like, I have an idea.
I have something better than James.
I've been watching a lot of 1930s adventure movies, and I have this cool character that I made.
I forget the exact movie that they draw. But they draw a particular inspiration from a film. God, what is it? It's got the guy from Planet of the Apes.
The one that we kept making fun of.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Oh well.
He's
in Mega Man. He's a
yeah.
Charlton Heston.
Yes, that is.
Charlton Heston was in a film. I think it was Temple of the something, but he has a very, very classic look that they took the Indy film look from. He's got the big wide brim hat. He's got the leather jacket, the bomber jacket kind of thing. And that's another cool thing about the movie, about the look of Indy, is all of his stuff. You believe that he's there at whatever point of time he's there, but a lot of his outfit is very anachronistic.
Yeah.
It's all just kind of put together.
It's almost the stereotypical adventure movie.
Yeah, look, it becomes the template.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, even before Indy, it kind of was the template already. But Indy, now you associate it with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But that's it. Yeah, it's really just nothing. Like even like you're Indiana Jones right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just a hat, a jacket, and a shirt, and jeans.
They definitely have, and people go to great lengths over the past years to figure out like the details of
Like what specifically Indy is wearing.
where it comes from, where the hat comes from, where the jacket comes from, his satchel bag, which this is actually just something I made and put together. It's a gas mask bag,
Cool.
from I think it's a British gas mask bag from World War II. It could be one, but again, minor details like that are just really cool, and they all go together to like give the character some really interesting in-world feel. It makes him very believable to the world.
Yeah.
I love it.
That brings to mind a great moment from Raiders, speaking of wardrobe, where he has to ditch his outfit and put on a Nazi outfit.
Yeah,
And it doesn't fit.
just doesn't.
And so he has to knock a guy out and put on a different outfit. That scene just cracks.
It's a fun little problem to have.
Fun. The whole movie does levity very well.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. No, it balances like the tension of what's happening, because again, Indy is he's, you look at him as this like great hero, this like almost like super figure, but he doesn't interact with any of his enemies from a place of power. He's
usually getting his ass kicked.
yeah. He's
Like
usually
you said,
on the
he's
lower.
running.
Yeah.
Almost the entire time.
He's a character that can take hits and get beat up and get hurt, and that endears you to him.
And the climax of the movie is not him fighting or him saving the day. It's him and Marion tied to a pole.
Yeah.
And just letting the bad guys take care of themselves.
Which, fortunate.
Which is hilarious. Hilarious way to end a movie.
Great way to end the movie. It's fantastic. They are the makers of their own demise, which is super cool.
Do you think, I mean, this is a little bit more broad Indy than just Raiders, but do you think when Indy is up against an enemy that is like pure evil, like Nazis, do you think it works better as a plot device than when he's, I don't know, just fighting nebulous bad guys?
Well, how do you mean nebulous? Because like Indy's enemies have always been other greedy
right
archaeologists or other greedy people trying to get like, whereas he's doing it from
Okay, so
the modern view of like what Indy does, of the idea of the Western adventurer going into other countries and taking their
Dustin, Temple of Doom is a classic white savior story, and viewing it backwards is a little tough. So I mean it like that. Like the bad guys in Temple of Doom is a cult, but
I think
then it goes back to Nazis.
Nazis are a perfect.
And then we go, and then we go to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and it's communists. But those aren't Nazis. And then so Dial of Destiny, we go back to fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
So it does seem like Indiana is almost tied to that intrinsic good versus evil, and it's much easier if the evil is like evil that Western audiences can.
We'll get into it when we talk about like Temple of Doom, because I do like Temple of Doom.
I like it. Obviously, product of its time. There's some things that like I watch it back now, and I'm like, there's some tough things about it.
Yeah.
I like it as an adventure movie. It's pretty good.
Just Raiders.
Yeah.
I think Nazis are perfect for a villain.
That's a crazy clip. You can just, I think.
I mean, if you cut me off, yeah, that is. But no, they are the perfect villain.
They're the perfect villain.
They are the like.
There's
not gonna feel bad about whatever happens to them.
You know, you watch 70 of them get fried, and you're like, good. Absolutely.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes. A ghost comes out of the box and kills all of them, and you're like, that's good.
But there are other enemies. There are other adversaries like Beloc.
Well, I mean, he's not two Nazis, so I mean,
before that, at the very beginning of the movie,
I really like Indy and Beloc's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's interesting.
I wish we had gotten more in supplicant material, or like another more. I feel like the later movies tried to do that with giving him more colleagues and more people that were on his side. I don't think we ever got anything quite like Beloc again.
No, and we've talked about like this being a pseudo Bond film. Beloc is a pseudo Bond villain.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, like
he's all the villain.
All the other Nazi villains are just like, yeah, no, you're just a Nazi.
They're not
charged.
We get it.
Belloc is self-serving. He's masterful. The first time we meet him, it's him showing up after Indy has heroically escaped to steal the thing he worked so long to get.
Yeah.
Like, just thwarting you at every turn, every single turn.
And it's so funny because in Temple of Doom, which we're not talking about, but like Indy is a lot closer to Beloc because, you know, it comes before Raiders, and his mentality towards what he doing what he does, you know, fortune and glory, that's a lot closer to where Beloc was as a character than where we see Indy.
Yeah, they're way more similar than they are different.
Yeah, and it's just that idea of like Indy is doing this for the right reasons. Most of the time. He's still partly a selfish character too, which he's fallible.
Yeah.
Which makes him just more human and more likable.
Yeah. You want your character to have weaknesses, which I think is a great segue to your, I assume, least favorite part of the movie, even if you like it for its plot, which has got to be the snake pit.
Oh, yeah. I have like a near crippling fear. My fear turns into like rage if I see a snake. I go instantly on the defend and attack kind of thing.
And the fight or flight kicks in
real hard.
Does it kick in during the movie?
No, because I realize that it can't touch me or do anything to me.
Very good.
Like, I understand.
What do you think about that?
As a kid, I used to have a real problem. I would be really interested in like National Geographic and like different things in the library, and I would go and look at books about animals. And I don't know who.
Oh, when they're like,
what
mouth open?
Yeah, what asshole decided to have like multiple pictures of snakes lunging out of the book to scare the shit out of me personally?
There's only one page.
I did that.
There's only one page of the encyclopedia that's a pop-up book, and
it's that one. It's terrifying to me, and it's an irrational fear. I understand this.
I don't know that irrational. I mean, the level that it kicks in for you is
kind of them, and I'm tense.
Yeah.
I'm tense.
It's just fun because, like, obviously, I always attribute it as like an indie thing.
It is. It is like I don't think
fun you have it in common.
I don't think it is fun. I really wish I didn't have that fear of snakes. But I look at Indy as another thing of being like kind of an inspiration to be like,
he deals with
past it. You can do it. He does thing. It's a little inspiration. It's like if Indy can do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
and it's cool.
Honestly, that's Raiders. When I was little, it was one of those movies for me. And George and Steven like really do that with a lot of their movies.
Yeah,
which is they're just always inspiring to kids. And Indy was like that for me as well. Obviously, like. The gun scene that I talked about.
Yeah.
I would just reenact that by myself.
Oh, it's so
I would do that all the time. And Indy's a perfect example of getting knocked down consistently and stay going. Like we said, he didn't like win. He survived.
He survived.
And I think that's a good moral.
The only thing,
Like, just keep-
the only fight he like wins
Ooh.
is the truck fight.
Oh yeah.
He gets shot, he gets cut and punched and beat up, and this is all after a whole other fight.
I thought you were gonna say the plane fight he won, and I was like, I think the plane won that.
Plane won that fight. Totally. That's not got to be. Honestly, we could chalk that up to Marion. Really,
You know, you could chalk a lot of things up to Marion. I think you can argue that Marion is more effective than Indy. Obviously, Indy's the protagonist, but
yes,
but Marion takes actions that lead to good outcomes. Indy usually is taking actions to get out of bad outcomes.
yeah, he's reacting to it.
Exactly. Yeah, and Marion definitely is proactive. Marion as a character is so good. It makes me upset that she's not in more of the movies.
Yeah,
She's in 3, and that feels like way too little.
yeah, and for very little time in the third third thing of her.
Oh, and the third thing, yes, definitely not enough in Dial of Destiny. I'd argue not enough in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because we didn't get her for 2 movies up to that point.
Yeah, I think she's a great character, and I think like a lot of the personal life of Indy, Indy's life has a lot as a character has a lot of blemishes on it, which goes into him being like a complex character. There is some very sensitive stuff that we won't get into details with Indy and Marion that has
Like those are like books and stuff, right?
well, it's in the novelization of Raiders, but it's also like spoken by Marion of they had a relationship. She was very young.
There's an age gap.
There's a bit of an age gap, and it makes you feel kind of icky.
Again, these are older movies.
These are older movies. These are choices that are made, and while I don't approve of those, I also don't approve of how much of a ladies' man he generally is, because he's not James Bond.
But again, I mean, if you're trying to get around copyright and make a James Bond movie, you can't have a long-term, low commitment, long distance girlfriend.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. You need
a different love interest every movie.
Yeah,
and to keep
and you need them not to work out eventually. Really,
yeah. I can't wait till we talk about Crusade because that's I think also is a great example of that. But in Raiders, I'm talking more about Marion. I mean, we brought this up right before we started recording. I was like, I don't think Marion should have went with him. And you were like, what other choice did she have? And you're 100% right. When we find Marion,
after the bar gets burned down,
that her entire life gets destroyed, she has to go with Indy. Like, she absolutely has to, and she has to tie her ship to him. And that is entirely his fault. Her life getting turned upside down is 100% Indiana Jones' fault for 2 times in a row.
Because the one interrogator Nazi follows him to Ravenwood Bar.
Yeah.
I feel like
Now
they
that I'm
probably
thinking about it, actually, does he follow them? I think they were on the way there separately. I think so. Actually, now I might change my stance. Indy might be the only reason Marion's alive.
As I remember it, Indy gets on the plane with the other colored hat, which is also always a fun thing. They made a bunch of different hats for the movie. I believe it's Herbert Johnson.
Shout out.
Well, just because I've done a lot of research and I went into even did my own thing. Because obviously I have the costume. I have bits and
You're definitely. We should
more or less authentic.
We should touch on film attire at some point. That'd be fun. Yeah, to actually like break down wardrobes.
That'd be cool. Do a little bit more research and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Like in way tangent. Revenge of the Sith. When they are doing the Mustafar fight scene, they have like 10 different costume designs to show the lava damage as it grows throughout the scene. So
it's cool.
Little stuff like that.
Little details that that make it feel.
But I never noticed that there was 2 different color hats.
Yeah, when he gets on the plane, it's the same cut. It's the same crown and everything. It's the same hat. It's just a travel hat.
Yeah.
It's very strange because we don't ever see that hat again, which is interesting. A lot of people who made like replicas and stuff like that, who have made that hat. And a funny thing about it is the hat, you would think the hat and the jacket, more so the hat, different every film. Different every film. They have a very distinct
He likes his hats like he likes his women.
Oh, well, maybe. Maybe.
Different every film.
Which is funny because it's like, is it the same jacket? It can't be. It's not the same jacket. It can't be the same.
I feel like he loses his clothes like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he's constantly getting shot and thrown around, and the hat being like almost a character to itself.
Yeah.
Like you assume it's the same hat, but logistically
Clearly
different. And yeah, clearly they use different hats, but I don't remember that they follow him there. I think they knew Raven would
plane when he's getting on with the different colored hat. He gets on, and then
the guy with the glass. Yeah, that is true.
I forget that character's name, but he's the.
His name is Herman. I don't know. Yeah, but the guy with the round glasses. Yeah. He melts, and he's the guy he made.
Yeah, he gets the symbol burned on his hand.
Yeah, I was actually talking with my dad about that the other day for some reason. I think we were just talking about like grabbing hot things, and so I brought up that reference because that stuck in my head as a child forever.
Yeah,
like anytime something remotely hot touches me, I think of it.
Yeah,
and I love the fact that the medallion is double-sided. So yeah, they have the burn, but it's not enough to actually get them where they need.
It's not all the details. It's not all the instructions.
I love that. It's cool. There's so many little things like that in Raiders that it's just like clearly they thought about. It's very well written. I'm trying to think of a part that's not. Well, like again, it moves. It moves constantly.
You brought it up before in outside of conversation. There is an argument that has been made, and I think actually popularized by the show The Big Bang Theory, where it's like, find a flaw in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it goes, the story would happen pretty much the same had Indy not been involved. And it's like, I don't really believe that. I think it happened the way it did because of his involvement, but I think it probably would have gone as poorly for whoever opened the.
Well, yeah, once it opens, it goes poorly. So I can see an argument there. I think Indy's story, yeah, he's almost like a bystander to the plot. Like Indy is there so we get to watch what's happening.
Yeah, he is.
He's our whipping boy. We get to watch these events unfold through and root for this guy because, common trope. It's easier to root for a protagonist when they're getting beat down because you want to see them rise to the occasion. So Indy as a character is one that just gets beat down.
There's a lot of details in the movies that you don't even have to think about, like in the shootout in the Raven Bar. Indy has 2 guns, but we never actually see that second gun ever again, too. Like, that's just a weird little thing.
You're not counting bullets. He's using a revolver all the time.
He's got a revolver, but then he actually pulls out another gun, and it's a semi-automatic. It's a Browning high power.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
I don't think we ever see that again.
We never see it again.
Probably left it in the bar. That's what I'm saying. He's always leaving.
He's always losing stuff. I mean, it's still interesting. Like, there's a lot of you were talking about favorite scenes, and like I love him and Marion just walking through the streets of Cairo and the monkeys on their shoulder. I love her. I love Marion's outfits. I love the dress Beloc gives her. I love the red and white like blouse she has.
Basically everything in Egypt is aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Like that every sequence that
Salah and his family and his living quarters are all so home.
Which again, product of the time, but John Rhys Davies is just
fantastic. Always great to see him. Always love the man.
That I just remembered something. You remember the guy in the beginning, the throw me the idol, I throw you the whip?
Yes.
That's Alfred Molina.
That's Alfred Molina.
Doc.
It's a very young Alfred Molina. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super funny to see him like pop up there because as a kid, you never know. And then Spider-Man 2 comes around.
Yeah,
and your dad points out who that is.
Well, I was watching it just recently. I didn't know because obviously the makeup department does a little bit to him, probably more than they should.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. So again, product of the time, but I was watching it back in the opening credits. and we were talking about this last night, credits used to happen before the movie.
Yeah.
So the opening credits are rolling as they're walking through the jungle. And I see Alfred Molina's name, and I'm like, who? And then I see that guy lick poison, and I'm like, they didn't. There's no way that's Doc Ock.
Yeah,
and it's very funny. Yeah, one of his first roles.
Just to go on that, as we're talking about the movie, I think the best way for us to get through the movie is just to kind of rapid fire hit it through the core events of the movie.
So they're running.
Well, so the movie starts with the Paramount Mountain. Yeah. And then fades in on a almost identical cliff or mountain that looks like the Paramount Mountain.
Yeah, I always love that. They keep that consistent.
And introducing Indy without showing him, but having him be this caricature, the silhouette.
Well, he said the silhouette. They start it so immediately.
Having one of the henchmen go to betray him, and then we get introduction to, well, he gets into gunfights, but his real sidearm, his real signature weapon is the bullwhip.
Yeah. Which is so unique.
I love it
because that's that. There's a lot of magic in
There's a lot of magic.
and I think most of it is in the whip.
And that whip is the Castlevania,
That thing is a magic
player effect. Yeah. No way that thing isn't blessed by a magical clown from a circus or something. A lion.
You're talking about that opening scene. It might be one of the best opening scenes in any movie of all time. It sets everything.
Yeah.
You know who this character is, the silhouette. You know what his greatest strength is, the whip. You know that this is an adventure movie. There's going to be heists. There's going to be some magic. There's going to be some darker things. There's going to be forces outside of his control. There's going to be puzzles. There's going to be traps. There's going to be running. And they all set that in that first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
The beginning of the movie is an adventure unto itself that has doesn't really have, except for the bleed over of having Beloc come back and be an antagonist, really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like a full adventure at the beginning of the movie, and running away, Jock, start the play.
Yeah, that's it's a shortened version of what the rest of the movie is going to be. It almost to the dot. There's going to be betrayals. There's going to be adventures. He's going to be about to win. Then he's going to get betrayed by Beloc, who's going to swoop in and steal the thing. And that's exactly how the rest of the movie plays out. And honestly, again, he only wins because Beloc kills himself by opening it. But the rest of the movie plays out exactly how that beginning part did. And it's so well written.
It could be, it's worthy of being a short all by itself. Disney does this thing with the animated little bits of Star Wars, iconic bits of that as little blips and shorts and stuff. You could do the opening of Raiders and have it be a little animated thing, and it is perfect and self-encapsulated. Everything takes from it. The arrows, the light beams, we'll probably touch on it more later when we get to after the big fight in Cairo, but I think Harrison does such a better job as Indy than he does as Han Solo.
You can tell he's having fun.
He's having so much more fun as Indiana Jones. It's so much more of an important character to him.
How much of that do you think is because of Indy being so grounded? They're just outside. They're filming in locations that, when Harrison's a kid in the 40s or 50s or whatever it is, that's not too far removed from the time period that he's playing this character.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. I think it allows,
I think easier to get into Indy's head than this smuggler bounty hunter that's in a galaxy far, far away.
We know that Harrison didn't start off as an actor. He was a carpenter.
Right. And he's a down-to-earth kind of guy.
We were talking about the outfit. There's a really important thing about his outfit that is directly inspired by Ford.
What's that?
It's his shoes. Oh, his shoes are Red Wings. You can still pick them up today. They are shoes that he was wearing when he was a carpenter that was really comfy for him. So those are the shoes he wears as Indiana Jones. That's fun. Because they're a classic design, they're made out of leather, they're rugged, they're kind of a work shoe boot. You could dress them up, dress them down kind of thing. Yeah. It's perfect. It goes into the whole thing of he's a salt of the earth guy. And I think that's why Ford really encapsulates that character.
Yeah.
He brings so much to it.
I mean, he's even said like Indy dies when he dies. I really do think that Harrison Ford is a character he played. Indiana Jones is him.
Yeah.
Like in at least in his mind.
Yeah, few people get so lucky as to have his face is synonymous with the character, or their voice. Like Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker is the Joker.
Yeah.
Few people get to have that, and I think Ford really deservedly.
Yeah. Because of those two things, Han Solo and Indiana Jones, he was my favorite actor for the longest time. He played two of the coolest characters that just were ingrained in my brain. I wanted to be him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, until I got a little older and like heard him just, be a person, and I'm like, all right, maybe I wouldn't be like friends with you, but you are a really good actor.
I don't want to be Harrison Ford. I want to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Indy's really cool. Can we talk about, because it rolls into that from like timeline, following it forward. I gotta say my least favorite part of the movie is that couple of scenes where he is a normal professor.
I love those scenes.
Like, they're important for the character, but I'm like, put the hat back on, take the glasses off, go punch somebody. I
Again, about the idea of
they're not too far down. I think it's mostly a flawless movie. There's not really, other than time period decisions that like I wouldn't do if I was making a movie nowadays. Other than that, like, I don't find any flaws a little bit. So I think it's important for the character. It shows a lot of stuff. It shows how smart he is. He's not just an adventurer or a grave robber or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff. Government officials come in and he has to teach them what they're talking about.
Yes.
Like children. He has to sit them down and get chalk out and be a professor.
Yes, I think it does a really good job of like talking to they're FBI, aren't they?
I wanted to say they're CIA. They are Alphabet Boys. They're one of the agencies.
They're one of them. But it's cool. They're coming to you meet Brody.
Love.
Great character.
So glad they bring him back.
Yeah. Marcus Brody. Yeah, I was trying to think of his first name. Yeah, I love him in Last Crusade. He's such a fun character too.
Best.
Having him be the focal point in the college. Where's that college?
I wanted to say it's in America. Is it not in Harvard?
I don't think it's Harvard.
Is it Oxford? Is it even in America?
I think it's in America. I think it's certainly in America, because remember in Crystal Skull, we're seeing all the McCarthyism going on too.
I don't remember where it is,
but it's a
Marshall
College. Marshall College thing.
Interesting.
I'd kind of like to visit just to get some of the iconic scenes of, like, wouldn't that be if it still had it, like, that'd be really cool to go, like, this classroom, like, this is where they filmed. This is the classroom, and there's people in there. This is doing class. This is the hall where they explain the because that's clearly like an auditorium or something where they're explaining to the alphabet boys. But that scene
is it in Raiders or Last Crusade where everyone's there for his office hours and he sneaks out the window?
That's Last Crusade. I think so. Raiders, he's not super famous yet. I really think that the scene where he's explaining what the Ark is and like giving you that detail, like, from the Bible, and like going, you guys never went to Sunday school, like, come on. I think it's great because, like, I think the scene does an excellent job of explaining of giving us a reason as to why they're explaining what they're explaining. I think other movies definitely like take from that scene. I think it's just done so well, and it shows his intelligence so well by him being able to like go to a page of a book, find that pretty iconic artwork showing.
I see it right now.
Yeah, showing the beams of light, and they're just like, now what's this bit? Lightning, fire, power of God, something, whatever you want it to be. And it's very much like he's an academic. Yeah. He's looking at it from
God, and he's like, what the fuck do I know? Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, but he does. He's just putting more emphasis on the idea of it being a historical artifact.
Yeah. I love that Indy I think he even says it in one movie. He's like, I'm a skeptic, but I know what I've seen. He's like, he never gets into the woo woo, but he's like, people say this thing does this thing. I've seen things that do this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything because I'm an academic. So I need solid evidence and proof before I, beyond a shadow of a doubt, believe in something. But it's not going to take me away from knowing to shut my damn eyes when they open the Ark.
Yeah.
Because on the off chance that I'm wrong, nothing happens.
Yeah. Don't look at it, Marion. Don't look.
Yeah.
Like, it's important that he knows what he's talking about, even if he doesn't believe. It's in Dial of Destiny, I think, where it goes, I've seen a lot of things, and I've come to realize that it's not so much what you believe, but how hard you believe.
That's what it is.
That's a great line. There's some bits of Dial of Destiny that are really good. Some bits.
The more I forget about that movie, the more I really enjoy it.
That's a glowing review.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one eventually. But
Moving on from that, we get
this is so good.
moving on from the explanation of that and like being tasked for him to.
Well, on that point, before we move completely off of it, we're talking about it's Indy being like skeptical and stuff. A massive part of this, what becomes franchise, obviously Raiders was a one-off and then it did so well that they're like, let's keep doing these, but it sets up the mysticism that exists in the world. It's totally grounded. Well, mostly, I would say 90% grounded. It's realistic. Harrison Ford thinks he's Indy because he gets to be a grounded, salted earth kind of guy. But there is this undeniable magic that is integral to what's going on. And I love that it's just slightly there. It doesn't take you out of the movie. You know, it's not a superhero movie or whatever, but it makes you believe it. Almost like Pirates of the Caribbean does a similar thing, takes it a little step further, but it's like it's mostly grounded in historical fiction.
Curse of the Black Pearl, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. For the most part, that movie is just a pirate movie. And then every once in a while, until they go full CG skeletons, every once in a while they're like, no, there are things, there's things of power that are outside of human control. There's supernatural things about, and that just makes, like, especially kids,
The medallion touching the water.
Yeah.
And get like,
whoa. Indy does that kind of stuff too, where you're like, that sense of wonder kicks in, where it's like you're not just watching some old past movie. There's something's going to happen that you are not going to be able to explain, and you're waiting for it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely waiting for it. And they set that up in that moment with them talking to the CIA.
There's examples of that happening before even finding the Ark too, like the map room.
Yes. There's things where we're like, all right, like scientifically, I'm going to bypass this because it's rule of cool. It's cool.
Yeah, hell, this happens. Great.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, no, again,
Map room. Yeah. That's such a great big one too. Like getting the light at the certain thing, you need a certain height of them.
certain height of the staff, they're digging in the wrong place because they didn't have the full inscription, which tells you how tall the staff is supposed to be, which then you get it at the perfect time. It's such like a clandestine operation, and it's just a guy looking in a hole, making sure nobody comes up. so Indy can do there, and the look on his face when the light's coming in, you get the swelling of that John Williams score, and the light goes over. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's amazing,
man. Yeah, let's just give a moment for just props for Steven Spielberg. Like,
yeah.
George creates a great character, but the movies would be nothing without Steven Spielberg, and they are without Steven Spielberg. Honestly, it's like Kingdom of Crystal Skull. They just really liked CGI just too much. Other than that, it has all of the same
director on that.
Yes, they just were like, hey, there's this new tech that we want to use, but all the same elements are there. I just wish they would have stuck to their guns, because Raiders is peak Steven Spielberg. Camera movement. You feel like you're moving. Like there's that scene in Cairo with everybody digging, and it's this one shot where we're following one of the Nazi guys and we're just tracking straight along, and you're just seeing everybody working and all this stuff that's going on. You get this sense of scale, you get this sense of momentum, and then of course they're backlit, so they're almost all silhouettes. And like you were saying, the Luke foot up on the rock, Indy has a few of those scenes as well. It's like when they're just finishing digging. I think you said that, like even the storm, which the storm's looks a bit wonky because I think it's a matte painting storm.
What storm is that? Is that
when they're digging? No, the lightning storm when they're still digging.
Oh yeah,
It's just it's a sound stage, and it looks and feels like a sound stage, but the lighting of that, like Steven is one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
And I think Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark has got to be possibly, I haven't thought about it a lot, but I think it's my favorite Spielberg. Like hands down.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I really like Jaws.
I mean, we know that I haven't seen Jaws, so I'll have to watch it. He's got so many. Yeah. Like, I don't know that there's any wrong answers. Maybe Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But Raiders is amazing. We've got more time. What haven't we touched on that we should touch on? We talked about apparel, the lighting, the shots, the character.
We've touched on the character a little bit.
We've even talked on Marion.
Yeah. I wanna talk a little bit.
I've got one.
Sure.
We can just briefly
go ahead.
Real explosions. There are nothing like real explosions.
Yes. And there's a real fun story about that because you're talking about the plane.
I'm talking about the plane, yeah.
Oh man. So people love this film.
Yeah.
People have gone it's a group of people.
I was about to go right where you're going. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
They love the movie so much that it was this long-running, multi-year, lifetime project to recreate shot for shot the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the movie. We should definitely
Raiders.
It's Raiders
with the exclamation point.
Yeah. A fan film of a reshot for shot scenes of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
You've seen it?
I've seen it once.
Okay, I've never seen it, so we should watch it and do like a commentary on it.
The hardest thing for them was the plane and blowing it up.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Because they're like, we should just do a model, and they're like, no, we're not going to do.
They didn't do a model. They were doing shot for shot. They blew up this plane. It had so much gasoline.
Yeah.
Because to do a shot like that, you need an explosion, obviously, but it can't be like a super concussive explosion. It has to be mostly smoke. So they basically, I forget how much gasoline they use, but
it makes for such a visual spectacle.
Yes, there's nothing like real explosions. If I had to point my finger on what's wrong with cinema nowadays, for the most part, it's that they don't do real explosions.
CG carries a lot of the weight for, but again, I understand that because of like a danger to the actors and
well, again, didn't matter back then.
Well, there wasn't any other way to do it, really.
Yeah, and that is why it looks so good, because your brain knows that's a real explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain knows better than like you consciously do that it's a real explosion. You can feel
it's exaggerated, but
it's exaggerated. Again, it wouldn't look like that out, but real fire.
Yeah,
that is a real plume, and that plane actually just exploded.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Does a lot for the movie.
Whoa.
Does a lot for the movie.
Yeah, like I said, there's mysticism, but there's grounded things like that. They're just that's really what like gets me. You know what I didn't get like whoa when the ark opens, other than the real face melting, the real face exploding, and whatever happens to the other guy. What happens to the other guy?
He melts as well. One person explodes and other people melt. A bunch of the Nazi soldiers get like shot through the chest with laser beam.
Yeah, I remember that. Let's see, the
melt.
Beloc? Yeah, Beloc explodes differently.
Yeah.
He like turns into light or something.
Because he was like doing the ritual. It's worst.
Good. But yeah, the lightning, which is just roto lightning.
Yeah.
That doesn't hit as hard as the plane exploding.
No, I guess not. It comes from the same place as like the LucasArts, like
a little bit of monkey brains,
like Star Wars effects of the lightsaber and stuff like that. It's that same family. Of
it 100% is. It's the same lightning that they do for Palpatine, which is people taking the film the film and sitting there and drawing on the film by hand, which is amazing. It's incredible. Like, I'm not taking away. I love 80s effects. Like technically, like I'm a technical lover of movies and like the technology that it takes to do them. George Lucas is always pushing it. Spielberg, what he does behind the camera, especially at that time, was pushing it. They wanted to do things and figured out how to do them.
Well, talking about them figuring out how to do things when they go down into and I want to back up after this, but to talk about a scene that like I really, really love. But when they go down into the pit and they're dealing with all the snakes, I love the story of like they get a bunch of snakes and Spielberg walks around and goes, "There's not enough.
Yeah.
More snakes." And they're just handfuls of just these writhing, coiling masses. And I'd be like,
yeah, I need this. You might eat it. Go cardiac arrest. But there's that one shot of the snakes and there's so many snakes that it's just snakes. There's nothing else, just snakes on top of them.
Yeah. And then they recreate that in other movies like Temple of Doom with the rats and spiders and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, set the bar. You have to.
But like the cool shot of the movie for the effect is very simple. It's just a plane of glass in between the actor and the snake, but having the cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Having like the full look up, the cobra's right there.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh. It's like, that's really tense, even though, and with the advent of like better quality film, you can see the reflection, you can see the glass pane, but it's like,
again, your brain knows
I don't care.
That's a real snake right there.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you move it forward just a little bit in time and they would do a clone shot, right? They would have Harrison and then they'd do another shot of the snake and then they would just composite them together. But then even then you can you'll get subtle tells from Harrison that there's not really a snake there. You fast forward even further in the future, and that snake would just be CGI.
Yeah.
Right? But that plane of glass, I'd rather have that reflection and have the subtle tells that my brain picks up from Harrison Ford and the light on the snake, that they are in the same room this far away from each other.
It does a lot.
You feel it in ways that you can't describe. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why older movies just... especially like I like Jackie Chan movies, which are like the Hong Kong ones are from the same time.
Yeah.
In like stunts in this movie,
kind of
there's a guy just going for it. They drag Harrison behind a truck in this. Yeah. They dug a ditch in the ground so they could drive and have him pull himself without getting run over by the truck.
Yeah.
They actually are doing things for real and you feel it every single time. Like you feel every grain of dirt that's running over him as he's...
That would hurt so bad.
Oh, 100%.
That would be ridiculous. There's no way it's actually happening, but like I know.
The behind the scenes is wild where they're just like, yeah, here's the trench we built and there he goes. He's dragging him.
Explosions again. Going in, and this kind of leads into it. There's the big fight of the streets of Cairo. Mm-hmm. They go there. They're in the markets, and they get attacked by all these hooded figures.
Yeah.
They get split up. Marion goes into one of these baskets and gets whisked away, and we're led to believe that she's on a truck that flips and blows up. And there's such a great moment. There's such a great moment where Indy's trying to save her and going after the truck. And like he sees it explode and like you've done yard work and stuff like that. You've burned leaves. Anybody who's been near any kind of fire definitely has that moment. Like if you're, being a little unsafe and using gasoline, you feel the heat and you recoil from it. I love that shot of Indy turning and grabbing onto the thing going like, oh no. And like thinking Marion's dead.
Yeah.
And like going back and looking and the music is swelling. And then the next time we see him, he's just sitting with the monkey.
The monkey. Yeah.
And he's drinking. And I love how depressed he looks. I love that visual of him too. He doesn't have the jacket in Cairo and he's disheveled. The hat's like pushed back. It's barely on. Like he's definitely at his low point of the movie. he goes and he talks to Beloc. Beloc's guys like bring him over to talk to him. And they have that really cool exchange. That whole like, I'm trying to win you over. I'm trying to win you over. Look, the point about the watch and like just saying like what we're doing, you and I aren't really not so different, you and I. The point about the watch, take it out to the desert, bury it, in 1,000 years it'll be worth 10 times what it was. And the hardest line I've ever heard of like, we could talk to God. You want to talk to God? Let's go see him together. I got nothing better to do. It's like,
That is a drunk character with nothing to lose.
nothing to lose. And then all the guns get out.
That's what I like. As soon as he stands up and you realize that this was stacked from the beginning against.
And then the kids come in and save him.
Yeah.
It's like, the heart saves him. It's like, children can't save you forever, guy. Yes, it's a great moment.
It is very fun.
Leading into all
That's why he's so depressed that he loses Marion. And I was thinking about this earlier when we were like, when you said that if Indy wasn't involved, basically nothing would have changed. And
Marion dying to him is his fault. Huh? Marion dying there to him is his fault. It
is his fault. But I was going to say I think the actual story of the movie, because again, if he wasn't there, nothing really changes. He doesn't really win. The bad guys lose. So what the actual story to me is him and Marion.
Mm-hmm.
Like it in that movie, I think like that's the climax of the movie, because he thinks that she's dead. Not anything to do with the Ark anymore. Not anything to do with Beloc. Literally nothing. It's about Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that point, he realizes Marion's still alive and he has to go get her.
From him stumbling into that, which is also great character development for Marion and Beloc, because they get put together in a bunch of scenes.
Yeah.
And she owns a bar, and we see her.
Yeah, we can see her whole
drinking contest
away from Indy. Yeah, the perfect setup.
And yet Beloc also has like a lot of props because that's his family's vintage or whatever. Those are really fun scenes for their characters, and like humanizes Beloc as well. He's still the bad guy.
Oh, again, yeah, but
he's still
a
a character.
He's a believable bad guy because you understand his motivations. He's not like we talked about Lex Luthor being evil for the sake of evil.
Yeah.
Beloc, you understand why he's doing everything. Like you guys are just kind of in the way. Like, if you weren't involved, I wouldn't be doing this to you. I'm sorry.
You get the feeling that if the Nazis weren't there and it was up to Beloc alone, he still would. I don't think he would have killed Marion and Indy.
No, and he'd find the next adjacent powerful people to help him. Like, Beloc wouldn't be in the sands like Indy is.
No.
He would be using whoever he can, and that's why he's teamed up with the Nazis, because he's like, they can progress my goals faster than I could progress my own.
How big's their pocketbook?
Yes, exactly.
Kind of thing. Oh man. Going on from that, we have the Ark of the Covenant is treated so well. It's such a crazy, impressive artifact that's treated with so much reverence and everything.
Until Indy aims an RPG at it.
I love it. I'm gonna blow up the Ark today, and it's just like,
please don't.
Please don't. please don't do it. From the plane fight to the truck fight to the end of the movie, we just get our next point of characterization with, like you said, the movie is about Indy and Marion on their relationship. And we're jumping over stuff, but like we all know, what is there to say without like knowing like a lot of the technicals of how great the plane fight is and the all the action sequences.
Yeah,
Marion and
Indy's standout, right? Is the action.
Yeah.
This movie is just that's what gets us from adventure to adventure. We know we travel somewhere because something's going to happen, right? And then that's going to make us travel somewhere else where something's going to happen.
So they get to this boat and they think they're scot-free, but like, oh no, U-boats sort of thing. And the Nazis catch back up with them. But before that, they have that really sweet, very tender moment where Indy is like, we're showing his vulnerability, not just because he's hurt, not because he's physically in pain, but also his emotional vulnerability with Marion.
Yeah.
And again, the John Williams score has an amazing theme for their dynamic for Marion. That's just like
That scene is honestly one of the reasons that I'm mad that she's not in the other movies.
yeah, because there's
such
so much
a-
chemistry.
Yes, and it's such a character moment that almost gets retconned by it not meaning anything. Like when you jump back, we go back in time to Temple of Doom. Okay, whatever, cool. We go forward in time to Last Crusade. Why is she not
Where
there?
is she? What happened?
Doesn't even mention her, and like that's a disservice. I think that we we gotta find a way to wrap this one up. We've touched on almost every scene of the movie.
Well, I was wrong. The very final scene, we do see that gray hat again when we're wrapping up, and of course the bureaucracy.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't go as well. Somehow they're able to like get rescued from that island with the Ark, and all the Nazis are dead, and the Ark falls into the hands of the United States.
yes,
And they renege on the deal to have Indy and the college be able to study it. It
of
goes,
course they do. It goes to Area 51.
which is so cool to like see like us finding out Area 51 is where it is, and having it get locked away, and you're left with this wonder of like, what else is in there?
Yeah.
Like if they're putting the Ark of the Covenant in like a file cabinet
It's
or
a
whatever.
beautiful cliffhanger.
And
Do you know how they did that shot?
no.
You're gonna love this. So it's 100% all in camera. All right, but they didn't build a warehouse. No. What they did is they had the guy pushing the Ark at the correct focal distance. They had him way the fuck over there. And this is an old school movie technique. This is George and Steven being nerds. So what they do is they have a matte painting of the rest of Area 51, and they have like a cut in it where the walkway and where the box is going to go,
Okay.
and they just film it that way. Have the guy walking through and putting the box and then walking back.
It's great because it gives you a really good sense of scale.
You get the
honestly.
sense of scale. You get the actual, your brain knows that guy's far as hell away, but it doesn't really, because of the painting, just like Star Wars uses matte paintings that are basically flawless, that it tricks your brain so well. You don't think about it, and all you get is, wow, this place is huge. What else might be in here? And it turns out aliens.
Yeah. That's a discussion for another time.
And I think that's where we'll end it.
Do you have any like final thought or final question?
Final question. We usually do a final question on
Since
Rage.
we're also going to do the rating thing, we'll have to.
Oh yeah, let's rate it. I think that's the question. What's your rating?
You go first. What do you rate out of 10? And knowing that this is our second ever like movie rating. It's
okay.
a classic. It's a near and dear to our heart.
All right,
like
so gonna have to
critical.
Yeah, gonna have to put some bumpers on it. As far as because I think this gets to play. Our only other movie rating was Superman, which got bumpers of being a superhero movie. This one doesn't have those same bumpers because it is cinema as far as cinema can be defined. And honestly, it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
It's an 8 out of 10 for you.
Which is, to me, very, very high. There's so much practicality. There's so much innovation. The pacing is very tight. There's not a whole lot of negativity that I can say about this, other than some questionable decisions here and there.
Do you have any legitimate like gripes with the movie?
Other than just like some products of the 80s, and other than that, not really. I wish. I don't know. I off the top of my head, no. I don't really have any gripes, I'd say.
Well, that's really interesting to hear.
That one shot with the storm, hate that. It just does not look
okay, it doesn't hold up super well.
I'd rather you film in a storm, but I understand.
I kind of like it because it feels like it feels supernatural. It feels unnatural.
Oh, it is.
This definitely is. Yeah, I'm gonna make a hardline stance, and you're only gonna get this with a very few films that we're gonna ever talk about. I think Raiders is a 10 out of 10. I think for what it is it narratively, plot wise, visually, acoustically, is it perfect? No. But for all its imperfections and for what it does and sets out to do and accomplishes, I think it's a 10 out of 10, like one of the greatest films of all time kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very high. And I think we're going to go through doing this show when we review some movies. You're going to see very, very few 10 out of 10 ratings from me.
I'm surprised we saw one this early, but I'm not.
Raiders is
I'm not surprised at the film that did it.
anybody's going to get it, it's going to be Indy.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end it. Thanks for sticking around. If you have, please consider giving us a like and a subscription. We greatly appreciate it. What's your rating of Raiders, and what's your favorite scene? It's an impulse. And then until otherwise, we'll see you Tuesday.
See you next time.